That's what I'd like to speak with you tonight about. About 6 months ago, I had to have a very serious conversation with a friend of mine, asking him to consider some of his actions regarding women. I noticed that this particular friend was just going through a rash of females, and I had to ask him, what do you want for your daughter? If she ever begins to suffer physically, do you believe in karma? Do you believe that things come back around to you? Have your actions toward the women that you date and the women that you spend time with and the women that you are intimate with, has it ever crossed your mind about their internal health? And then I had to ask him, when was the last time you actually have been to the doctor and had a checkup? Awkward. But I believe I could have had a hand in saving a life, because afterwards he actually did go to the doctors and have an annual checkup. And thank God everything was okay. But how long do you live this type of lifestyle of dating and being intimate with females before you go and actually make sure that everything is okay? Us as human beings tend to only go to the doctor when something is wrong. And us as females, we're taught differently. We're taught to have an annual checkup, to hopefully have a good relationship with our doctors so we can be ahead of any issue that may occur. So what I want to speak to you tonight about is, again, today is March the 1st. And not only is it the kickoff to Women's History Month, but it is also the beginning of Endometriosis Awareness Month. About 6 months ago, almost exactly on my birthday, September 25th, almost exactly to the day, I was going through a really bad breakup. And it was very stressful. And we all know that stress has a good deal of what happens internally to our bodies. There was no turning up for me. There wasn't any gifts, cakes, candies, presents, flowers, any of that. I spent my birthday in the emergency room and at home in bed, sick, still trying to figure out what was going on with me. For a significant time, I had been having very, very heavy cycles and very, 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 very painful cycles. And I just didn't understand what was going on with me, honestly. Those of you who follow me often know that I travel a great deal. You know that I'm an entertainer. And when it comes to entertaining, your personal issues don't come on stage with you. You have to leave all of your problems and all of your troubles in the wings, in the dressing room, put it in the back of your mind, and you have a job to do. You have to go entertain. So for a long time, I just had to put a smile on my face and go out and just do my job. However, I was in great pain. There was a show last September that I did with my boss, Ronnie Spector, and the entire trip home, I was just sick. I was expelling fluids from the top and bottom. And I know this isn't cute. I know this is not something that people talk about publicly. However, I have to share this with you because there's a lot of women out there who suffer from endometriosis and fibroid issues, and we suffer in silence. So, like I said, on my birthday last year, I wasn't able to celebrate my birthday. I had to take care of my health. And at the same time, I was going through a bad breakup. And the most hurtful thing of all was my ex. He was just so angry at the time. he wished me bad. He wished bad on me. He said, and I hope you get sick again. I hope this hurts you. He had no idea exactly what I was going through, really. I don't believe if he really knew the severity of what I was dealing with that he would have wished bad on me. But that's how he felt at the moment. So eventually, after going to several emergency rooms, being seen by several doctors, by asking a lot of questions, by trying to figure it out, I was eventually diagnosed with something called endometriosis. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I'm just going to give you a general example of what endometriosis is. It occurs when tissue surrounds and lines the uterus. It's called the endometrium. It's found outside the uterus, usually in the abdomen or the ovaries or the fallopian tubes, between the rectum and the vagina. So basically, the lining is not growing where it's supposed to grow. And it causes you a great deal of pain. Like I said, I am an entertainer. So there's no way I could have gotten up on stage and said, "Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I'm having a bad day. My endometriosis is flaring up." No, it doesn't work that way. There were many of days where I was doubled over in pain, not even able to stand up. Spent a lot of days in bed. I had to have internal and external ultrasounds. I had to see a specialist. I had to pay for very expensive medication because my health care wouldn't carry it at the time. And since then, I've had to get even better health care and pay even more money. And that in itself is such a battle. I am an independent contractor. I do not work for one company who offers me health care. So in this country, when you are an independent contractor, you have to come out of pocket a lot for your health care. And I really believe there should be better laws and better protection for entertainers, because without us, this world would be boring, you know? But that's a whole nother story. So again, because today is the kickoff of not only Women's History Month, but also Endometriosis Awareness Month. I just wanted to ask you, gentlemen who are tuned in right now, when was the last time you've actually had a checkup? When's the last time you've actually been to a doctor to see what was going on with you? And for the ladies as well, you can't always just assume that everything is okay. And the reason why I bring that up is a lot of my male friends, if you are in a relationship, a relationship with a woman and you are having unprotected sex with her, and somehow, some way, you find yourself having sex with another woman, unprotected or protected, you really have to realize there are germs and bacteria being spread from one person. Okay. I'm going to make sure you guys can hear me a little bit, okay? You really have to make sure that there's not anything bad being transferred from you to the other person. I'm not even talking about STDs here. I'm talking about something called endometriosis. And there are also a long line of other disorders and other negative bacteria that you can transfer from one person to the next. It has a lot to do with the vaginal health and the uterine health of the female that you're choosing to become intimate with. It has a lot to do with your oral health. Come on, let's keep it 100. How many of you are actually using Listerine and gargling and taking care of your oral health every day? And then you want to be intimate with the female, and oh, all of a sudden she has a yeast infection or something worse, like endometriosis. The woman's body is strategically made. God made our bodies to cleanse itself naturally every month. Now, what was going on with me, some of my closer friends know I was experiencing very heavy cycles. So I had to figure out what the heck was going on with me. I can't get up on stage in 5, 6, 7, 8 and hit it with a smile on my face, and I'm in excruciating pain on the inside. I just couldn't live like that any longer. I really had to figure out what was going on with me. So I'm so grateful to God that even though I was not able to celebrate my birthday the way that I wanted to, there was no party, there were no gifts, there was no turn up. I was in bed and I was sick. However, I believe that I was giving a new set of eyes and a new perspective on putting myself first. A lot of times, especially, females like me, I'm a pleaser. I love to indulge in the sensuality and the intimacy that is me when I choose to become intimate with a gentleman. However, becoming intimate with these gentlemen, after going through what I've been through, you sometimes want to say, hey, can you just fill out this questionnaire and attach your medical history to it? Because when you put yourself in a vulnerable place to be touched and to be intimate with a man, you don't really think about in the heat of the moment, what type of germs am I getting from this person? I have a friend who always jokes and laughs with me. This is very personal, but it is a platonic male friend, and I always remind them to, wash their hands often before they go out on a date. And to always wash their hands often and make sure that they take care of their genital health and their oral health before they decide to become intimate with a female. Why? It might be TMI, it might be too much, but as a friend and as a female, I know firsthand that I don't want you touching me after you've been going through your entire day touching everything else. Have you ever seen that question? I believe it's like a Lysol commercial where the kid goes through the house and goes through the day and they're touching everything and everything they touch gets stuck to their hands. Imagine you being a man going through your entire day. You know you haven't washed your hands within the last hour, yet and still you want to put your hands here or here, down there. How irresponsible are you? And I know that this is something that your father hasn't talked to you about, your brother hasn't talked to you about. So I really do feel like it has to come from a woman. If we don't tell you these things, you simply won't know. So here I am as a vessel encouraging you guys. Please take a second thought to whom you choose to share yourselves with and how you choose to share yourselves. Endometriosis has no cure. This is something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. It is not an STD. It has a lot to do with my genetics, with my family history. It has a lot to do with my genetics, my family history. And it's just really a part of my DNA. It's not something that I contracted from any other man. I am on a very, very low dose general medication. Actually, it's a form of birth control that millions of women take all around the world and every single day. The only difference with me is that I am taking it for a different reason. I'm not taking it